I'm going to call the Common Council meeting to order Tuesday, November 26, 2019 at 6:04 p.m. Roll call.
Alderperson Wolf.
Here.
Hamel.
Here.
Borgman.
Here.
Kapusta.
Here.
Engelhardt.
Here.
Kubaki.
Here.
And Madden. Here. We have a quorum present.
Thank you. And then statement of public notice.
This meeting was noticed in accordance with the open meeting law.
Communications, none this evening from me, other than happy Thanksgiving, everyone, and everyone out there who may be watching. Public comment, there is none. Public hearing.
To consider the petition of HomePath Financial LP to rezone property located at South 76 West 17501 Janesville Road, tax key number 2196.958.004 from B3, General Business District and RS3, Suburban Residence District to PD, a planned development district based on the RM2 Multiple Family Residence District and B3 General Business District for the purpose of allowing the development of two-family homes and a commercial lot. The 2020 comprehensive plan would also be amended from commercial use to medium-density residential uses and commercial uses.
Thank you. And Adam, you want to update everyone on the hearing?
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. So the request tonight is to rezone a property that the Common Council visited and approved in 2015. It was always known formally as the Ingold property. Now the company that's looking at doing something there is HomePath Financial. They're looking at calling Cobblestone Meadows. The original approval that was granted in 2015 was for 8 duplex buildings, so a total of 16 units. The proposal today is similar, but it does add one more building, which is 2 more units, so a total of 18 units and 9 buildings. There is planned development zoning being asked for, and as part of it, there's a small little outlot that's next to some adjacent businesses that are just to the east of this site. It's kind of unneeded land for the condo development, and this land is actually right now used as access and parking for those adjacent commercial businesses. So the applicant is working with those adjacent businesses, so that's the one small commercial part of this plan development, but the bulk of the plan development would be based on the RM2 zoning. Based upon the proposal of the 18 units and 9 buildings, they do meet the medium density residential comp plan, which is the comprehensive plan that's predominantly used in the area. So it's less than 2.99 units per acre. They're actually at like 2.6, I think the number is here, per acre. So they're within the land use category they're asking for, as well as they meet the RM2 zoning, which is 10,000 square feet of land per unit. They actually are quite a bit under that. As part of this, it would amend an existing plan development that's already out there. Our zoning code has a plan development called PD 48. It was a placeholder for this Ingold development based upon that 2015 approval. This would just amend and kind of supersede that previous approval that was out there. Yeah, that's really the basis of it.
Okay, thank you, Adam. So if there's anyone here who wishes to speak regarding this public hearing, you can come up to the microphone, state your name and address. Speak.
Hi, you guys know me, Deborah Bolton, West 186, South 7543, Kingston Drive, better, Muskego. I've called and I've spoken before. Anytime I speak out against any type of use of a planned development. I guess this was approved back in 2015. I spoke out against it in 2015. It's my understanding that when something like this gets proposed and doesn't get used, it reverts back to what it was. So this should still be zoned as residential 3. I do not think it is fair to the neighboring properties here to now insert something, shoehorn something in that it wasn't zoned for. Now my personal views, and I've spoken on this many times before, is I take more of a satellite view on things because we cannot deny here climate change, and things are getting wet. Things are getting more extreme. Things are getting wet. The wet's getting wetter. The hot's getting hotter. The cold's getting cold. The windier's getting windier. And the wet getting wetter is a problem here. This is laid out to have something as a residential 3. Large lots, lots of green open space. Now you're looking at going to small lots with big footprints. This property is not going to control its water runoff. And where's it going to go? It's going to go into the basements of those existing homes. So as a taxpayer, I do not want my city putting itself in a position of being sued. And quite frankly, when those basements get flooded, I encourage them to do so, because this property was zoned for residential 3. It was zoned for large lots, single-family homes. Lots of open space, places for the water to go. You change that now, knowing what you know, you're liable. You sitting on this council. You are putting my tax dollars at risk, and I do not approve of that. So please do not consider that. Do not allow them, once again, another business coming forward and wanting to put 10 pounds of potatoes in a 5-pound sack. That is not what it's designed for. It is not how it should be used. And I remember also back in 2015, this discussion that came up. Residential properties really shouldn't be funneling their traffic out onto a main road like Janesville Road. Now, back in 2015, there were properties opening up onto Westwood. That was the appropriate place to send a road. They carved them off and sold them off. That's not our fault. They made their choices. They made their decisions. Now, if that makes that land tougher to use, well then tough. You should have been wiser when you were carving this piece up. But do not stick these existing residents that have been there for, 40 years with this city of pavement that is just going to run its stormwater runoff right into their yards and right into their basements. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
Yes, Dan Miller. I'm West 173, South 7661, right off of Westwood Drive there. I guess my question is, I thought this hearing was about, because I was told as a resident that we were going to see the plans. I thought this hearing was about to see the plans. So you're making decisions on what we're going to do, yet as a resident, we were told by the engineering corps that we were going to see the plans, and I haven't seen anything yet. So I don't know if they were available publicly to me, and I didn't know that, but an email would be nice, or an email. Before you make changes, it'd be nice to see what changes are being made before you actually vote on different things. So I just want the record show that it'd be nice if, as a resident and a taxpayer again, we could see the plans going on to adjacent properties to the land. So am I wrong on that? Were they made available to me and I just never got an email
We'll
or a letter?
respond when we get under, we can't respond during public
Okay,
hearing.
got it. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Okay, with that, we will close the public hearing. We'll move on to consent agenda. I think you have one you want to pull out, Kevin. You mentioned to me earlier.
Yes. I'd like to pull out Resolution 096.
Okay, that one's out. So consent agenda will include the others. You can go ahead.
Approval of operator licenses, approval of common council minutes for November 12th. Resolution 95, approval of cleaning services agreement with Jana King of Milwaukee.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion on those three? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? They are approved. And then we have Resolution 96, 2019, establishing traffic, sorry, I'm jumping in.
No, that's good.
Establishing traffic regulations, speed limit on Test Corners Drive. Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion?
Yes, I happened to be in attendance at the meeting for the Public Safety Committee when they reviewed this. And I tend to put a lot of credibility in with the experts in our city, namely the Chief of Police and the Director of Public Works, who both suggested that this road remain 35-mile-an-hour speed limit. It carries a lot of traffic. It carries traffic to a number of subdivisions. I had the chance to drive the road a number of times over the last 10 days or so, and I compare it to Woods Road, which has the same speed limit, has the same feeder traffic, has the same aprons coming out on the street, but also serves 2 schools along its route. So for those reasons, and it's the 35-mile-an-hour speed limit, that seems very, very safe. in my travels down the road, I've never seen any pedestrians on the road because there's a path that parallels the road, I believe from Janesville all the way down to Woods Road. So for that reason, I think we should keep the road the same, the speed limit the same. It's safe, as far as I've seen. And again, the experts in our city also agree with that.
The only reason, it was changed, we were reacting to a request by the community. And if you look at any of the roads that go between Janesville and Woods Road right now, with the exception of Moreland, which is a brand-new road and a much wider, much better designed road, that's 35. All the others are a lesser speed. Parkland is even at 25, Bay Lane is at 25. The other similar roads are 30. There was a request earlier in the year to even have another crosswalk added because people just don't feel safe, which we turned down. You know, it seemed like a little thing to do to help the people in that area. It is a dark road. It is a narrow road. It is a twisty, windy road in areas. You know, we do have a path which allows people to at least get out of the way once they're across and on the path. But you know, it just seemed like everything that we have that goes in that direction of similar size and similar structure to that road is at a 30 or less miles per hour. So it seemed like a logical thing to just conform to what's there with the other roads. It seemed like it was an odd one. It was probably odd because at one time it was the way to get out to Janesville. Now it's not the way to get out into Janesville. Sure, a lot of people use it for that. But we also have Moreland, which is designed for 35 and is the main thoroughfare. So it was just a matter of making it conform and reacting to what the people wanted. That was it. I mean, there's no big science to it. And no, there aren't 1 million people killed on it each year. And there hasn't been, you know, a lot of accidents, thankfully, but it was just a matter of conforming to what's standard practice in our city.
Alderman Madden?
Yeah, I again have to correct you, Neil. Durham Drive, which runs into Moreland, is very narrow, as is Test Corners. Moreland Road on that side is only a block long. The new wide part is only a block long. And if you drove that, you would see that. It's a very narrow.
We spent $2.5 million on a block-long road.
And a roundabout, and yeah, there was a lot done, there's no question, but it is a narrow, winding road. And the speed limit is 35, and it's a major crossover like Test Corners is. As I said that night, I don't see anybody that's going to change their speed just because we put a different sign up. It's still going to say 35 to them. I don't see the benefit, and yes, we did have one gentleman that showed up that made that request.
Yep.
Alderman Wolf?
Well, if you want to talk about feeder roads, let's start with Test Corners. The first part of Test Corners up to Janesville, going north from College, has no trail. From Janesville to Woods, as you stated, Kevin, does have a trail. After that, again, there is no trail. And we go into the town of Franklin, which is 25. So if you want to compare the road from going from 35 to a narrow road on Durham, Moreland, Durham, we can take Test Corners the same way going into Franklin down to 25. Also, the turn right past the fire station on the south, going south, is a 25-mile-an-hour turn that nobody seems to pay attention to. And since I've been alderman all the way back to when the road was redone and there was the big to-do over putting a trail or not putting a trail in, speed was a factor in conversations, and I get a lot of conversations and calls, and I brought several over the years to the attention, and we always seem to poo-poo the idea of changing the speed limit because it's a thoroughfare in Waukesha, this and that, and whatever reasons we give. I think that the 30-mile-an-hour speed limit would be a good idea because not only do we go into Franklin going down to 25, on the turn, the way this road was built, and even by the fire station in between the gas station, the way we have that bridge there, it's really not a safe spot for either one of them. I walk that trail, and very seldom do I see people going 35 miles an hour down there. I would say that quite a few cars are way past the speed limit, especially on the turn where there is a crosswalk that we added in because of the concerns of Stony Creek. And I just see something in the future happening on that road. And you know, it might not be a big deal to move down 5 miles an hour, but I think that it's a concession that we owe to people that live on that area. You know, I mean, I know myself trying to cross from a street, say, you know, Hale Park or wherever it is, going across. Sometimes it's difficult to get there because the cars are going pretty quick. And certain times of the day, it's even busier and faster than other times of the day. And, you know, is it a big deal or not? You know, can we get people to maybe go 33 miles an hour versus 37 that they're going now off most studies? You know, I think with the turn there being 25, I think it's probably a good consistent thing to do. And if you want to talk about going with the experts, we have committees in places that hopefully set this up to us to tell us, you know, that they're using the experts and they are an expert, and that's why we have a public safety committee, and to take their findings and move forward with what they suggest. So I'm in favor of it.
And speaking of public safety and professionals, could you come up, Chief, because not everyone was at Public Works and Safety Committee, including myself, and tell us.
Okay. You have questions or?
Well, I don't know, what did you, what's your opinion?
Well,
Some of us weren't at the meeting.
looking back at the data, we did a traffic survey, and the average speed of speeders on that road was around 38 miles an hour altogether, actually 37.1. That was the average speed. It was a 2-week period that we did this, and during that 2-week period, there were over 49,000 vehicles that traveled it. So it is highly traveled road. Accidents, I had sent that stuff to Scott, but he's not here tonight, so.
No, there wasn't much. There wasn't much.
I think it was just
You
one
gave me
maybe.
the same
Yeah.
report. I agree with you.
Yeah, and I usually go back 3 years at least, sometimes 5. And so the accidents weren't bad. We've had more accidents at the intersection of Test Corners and Woods, and that was,
right.
Most of those accidents were related to when they were doing the roundabout, because they were rerouting the traffic onto Test Corners.
And that's a
So-
big intersection. It's kind of funny
Yeah.
stop sign. I mean,
Yeah,
that could
it became
happen there.
It became a problem at that point, so we had some accidents there. But, so I did not look at intersection-related accidents because they don't pertain to speed limits, or, you know, speed doesn't affect those. So, so the accidents were very few. The average speed was not excessive. So essentially, this is what I brought to the committee to decide upon. Right now, in our mind, the road is not presenting a problem to the city. So, and that is what we presented. And, you know, and there was one person that brought it up that wanted it changed, so.
So it wasn't a group of individuals?
What's that?
This is one individual, not a group of individuals?
It was just one individual as far as I know. So I just brought facts to the council, so.
Do we have any data that shows what, if increase of traffic in recent years or anything?
That I do not.
You don't have anything on that?
No, I would say, though, that the
Regardless.
increase of traffic has happened because the Moreland Road was closed. So people, especially during that period, it was way over increased. But I think people learned to use that road and stay away from Moreland. So we have increased in traffic there, I think, over the since Moreland was closed. But, you know, like I said, I think my point is that it's hard to cross the street and stuff there for individuals. So we can have statistics and whatever, and it's all great, and it gives us indications. is 5 miles going to make a difference? We don't know unless we try it, you know, I mean, that's how I'm looking at it.
I have a question. It was referenced that, comparing this to the other roads, Lannon and whatever else, but Tess is more like Moreland because it goes beyond Woods Road going south.
But it connects to a
correct? So that
25-mile-an-hour road.
What was that?
But it connects to a 25-mile-an-hour road. It drops down when you get to the end of Muskego.
Oh, Test Corners, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does drop down to 25 when you get into Franklin. If that's
It's a
what
nice
you're-
speed trap area.
so.
Franklin also does that with Woods Road.
They have a what?
Franklin
Frank
also
does-
does that with
with
Woods
Woods
Road.
Road.
When you cross into Franklin, it goes to
And
25.
there, it drops down to 25 in Franklin. Woods Road does as well.
Woods Road. And make comparison of Woods Road to Test Corners, I don't think is a fair comparison. I mean, Woods Road is a major long road. I mean, it's
Straight and flat.
you know, and it has a little bit of a turn in the one spot that's kind of nasty, but traffic-wise, it's a little different, you know. Hey.
Well, I just want to bring it to your attention. Again, I tend to go along with who I consider the experts on roads. I'm certainly not an expert on the road, but again, my concern was changing that against the wishes of what I consider our experts.
But the experts were at the Public Safety Committee, and they made a decision based on what they heard at that committee. So how do you take the committee and move
Which
forward
experts,
usually or
which
not?
experts are you referring to?
I don't know. You said you talked there at the
The
public?
chief and Scott.
And
Yeah,
Scott?
Scott and I were at the public safety.
I would like to just kind of,
Is that the experts you're talking about?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's what I'm saying. So they talked to the committee, and the committee still made a decision based on the information they were given at the committee. And
Correct, but-
most of the
but
time,
again,
when the
I-
committee
I-
sends stuff
I
up
tend
to
to-
us, we
I
listen
tend
to
to
what the
side with
committee
the
says,
experts.
and then
That's
we
what I
make a
said.
decision on what the
I
committee
tend to
gives
side
us.
with the experts.
And usually we side with the
Simple as
committee.
that.
Usually one person talks at a time.
when everybody's done.
I wasn't done talking.
I would like to point something out so everybody understands, because this is in reaction to one individual. You have to remember all the people that live there or drive up and down that might feel very disenfranchised and inconvenienced for that speed limit that changed. Because again, like what I'm understanding is the chief is saying we don't have a lot of cross-traffic opportunities without going far out of your way, and this could be problematic for moving traffic, so. And there hasn't been a significant issue with accidents or anything like that. And there's a trail to keep people safe on the trail.
I think
So I'm just pointing that out so everybody understands.
I think that one person showing up is not uncommon in a small community for politics. Most people don't understand it, don't get involved with it, and don't spend the time to know what's going on something like a speed limit changing of 5 miles an hour.
I wouldn't underestimate
and people
people.
also, I don't underestimate anybody, but, you know, it seems to be always a one-sided conversation up here. And this has been brought to my attention more than just one person over the years that I've been, I think I said that, but that wasn't repeated either. So this has been a concern for people there. And on the turn, it's already 25 miles an hour. Should we raise the turn to 35 and make everybody happy that it stays 35? Or do we ask Franklin to raise theirs, and maybe we should raise the wood side on Franklin? And, I just think it's a good compromise for the people who live in the area.
So Kevin, were you making a point of information, or were you making an amendment to the resolution? What were your thoughts? Leave it as is?
Well, you have a vote. We can either defeat the resolution or
Right.
approve the resolution.
Okay,
It's your call.
thank you.
Is there any more discussion?
Roll call vote.
Yeah, we probably should. So roll call
Alderperson-
vote. Go ahead.
Alderperson Wolf,
We're voting.
Oh, you vote, I'm sorry. Yes would be to lower it, right?
Right.
That's, okay, so I vote yes.
Hamel,
Yes.
Borgman,
Yes.
Kapusta,
Yes.
Engelhardt,
Yes.
Kubaki,
No.
and Madden.
No.
Motion carries 5 in favor, 2 opposed.
Okay, thank you. We have no new business this evening. We have unfinished business. Ordinance 1438, an ordinance to establish salaries for elected officials, second reading. We need a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion?
I'm sorry, who seconded? Was it?
Hamel.
Okay, thank you.
Any discussion?
So just so everybody's clear, this is to raise the salary on the judge and the mayor and the aldermen all stay the same, right? Nothing changes with the aldermen,
Judge is the next.
just so everybody's
No, this one's just the mayor, the second one is the judge.
second one, but everything, but between the two, just so everybody has an understanding how that's working, the mayor is to be raised, the judge would be raised, and there's nothing involved with the aldermen at all.
Right.
I just want to make sure it's clear. Okay.
And this is the amount we set in the budget, right? When we had the discussion.
Yeah, it's all included.
72 or whatever it is. Right?
I don't remember.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved.
Aye.
It's approved. Ordinance 1439, establishing salary for municipal judge, second reading.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Is approved. Review committee reports.
Finance Committee, October 22nd. Public Works and Safety Committee, September 16th.
Thank you. Then we have first reading of ordinances and possible second reading if rules are waived. Ordinance 1440, an ordinance to amend the zoning map and 2020 comprehensive plan of the City of Muskego Home Path Financial LP from B3 and RS3 to PD. There's no motion. Therefore, there's no vote this evening because I know someone asked. The plans will be available at the Plan Commission meeting. Sure, Adam wants to make a comment.
So for the public hearing, in the notice that went out to the direct mailings and in the newspaper and the website, the plans are available in our office. That's what the notice tells you to do, is come to our office. You can call us, we can email them to you. They are, some basic plans were part of the agenda packet, so if you go to the Common Council agenda from tonight, you'll see some basic narratives and site plans, and then there'll be a lot more detail, in a lot more analyzation of the detail brought to the Plan Commission next week.
Adam, I got a
Thank you,
question.
Adam.
Can I ask Adam a question?
Sure.
Just so I understand this, when the last vote went down on this, and did it resort back to the original zoning?
So the rezoning for that
First project.
16 units was approved, and
Right.
as most of our zonings are, that rezoning is contingent upon them getting their like BSO, their site approval. So the architecture, final site layout, they never went to that step.
Right.
So yeah, you can say that it's pending out there, but the old zoning was still sitting out there.
But-
that's why this is in front of you tonight.
So, but is it RS3 now? I mean, is that what it,
Yeah,
that's
you
what
look
it
at the map
was?
today, you look at the map today, the front of the property is commercial. That's what it always has been. And the bulk of the property, the back 3/4 or 2/3 or so, are single-family residential.
Which is, what is that? Is that RS3?
RS3, yeah. So RS3 allows like 16 lots, 15 lots.
So we want to change that from RS3 to PD? Is that what it says here?
Correct, yeah. And the reason they're doing the PD is because you're doing a condo. Condos commonly have a PD because you have multiple units on one lot. Most traditional zonings are lot-based. Anytime you have a condo, I don't think we have any condos that aren't PD that I can think of off the top of my head, but I could look into that more. But it's very common for condo developments to be PD because it's common land ownership. If they were doing individual lots, it'd be a different story. And because there's that small commercial outlot that's kind of remnant, that's going to be used to help those other commercial lots, that's another reason the PD was.
And if I do remember correctly, as was stated, the entrance was going to be off of the side road.
We would normally never encourage traffic on a side road if they want to have
On the
traffic.
original one, was it going out to Janesville?
There's always been 2 single-family lots proposed, which haven't split. The original plan that was approved had 2 single-family lots on Westwood and connection off a private road on Janesville. The difference
that's
here is
what
they're
I was
willing to
gonna
make
bring
it
up
public.
next.
So we built safer now. It wouldn't have nearly had the safety standards before because it was private. Now the county and city can require all public road improvements here. So this would be, I think you could arguably say, a safer road than before because it would be a public road, not a private road. It would have been a road either way on Janesville Road.
So we want to go with a public road, because that was going to be my next question. It was going to be a private road.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's built to better standards. The developer builds it at their expense. So we don't
And it's
build
gonna
a
be-
city road. The developer builds a
It's
city
going to be
road.
straight across from Parkwood,
Yeah,
whatever.
the county has a lot of involvement in the design of it because it intersects a county road, and they've been working with the county on the design. But yeah, it does line up with, actually, I think it's Mishi.
Whatever
Or
street.
Park,
there's-
Park, I'm sorry, across the street there.
Park, yeah.
Parkland,
Yeah.
okay. I just wanted to double check that it went back to
Yeah,
the
and there is a site
RS3.
plan in the packet, and like I said, at Plan Commission next Tuesday, there'll be a lot more detail with the land division documents and stuff like that.
Yeah, for clarification, there's two more houses
one more
No, one
building with
building,
two-
two
One
units.
building.
One more building, two more units.
than was accepted with the 2015 proposal?
Yes.
Okay.
And but it's still within the density.
Yeah, and that original plan left a larger commercial lot up front. There's been no interest in that commercial lot. I think that's why the developer went away from that. And the only commercial that's there is just kind of little leftover land that the owners of the commercial businesses that exist have been asking for help because their access, which was through this property, is going to be terminated. So this would help those businesses potentially too. Because if this road goes in, the driveway that's used by those businesses to the east now is going to have to go away per the county. So this new road would also serve as a feeder for those couple businesses.
For
that
those
are
two
there.
little businesses,
Yeah, there's the two buildings that are there right now.
okay. And otherwise, there'd be unlikely any other commercial development as a result of this?
I'm sorry?
There would be no other commercial development as a result
No,
of
the
this?
only commercial would be this little small outlot, which the way that we're drafting the stuff for Plan Commission says that if that isn't adjoined to that lot next door, it's just, will stay as open space. It's a small lot, it's not, it's it's like 8,000 square feet, I don't even see that, it's a real tiny remnant. And we'll have more details at the Plan Commission with the exact sizes, because you'll see the CSM there.
Okay, thanks, Adam. Okay, license approval.
Approval of a new agent for Class A license held by Quick Trip, Karen M. Ban.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Is approved.
Approval of a Class B license for the sale of fermented malt beverages and intoxicating liquor, and a Class A dance hall license for Tailspin LLC on Martin Drive. Jennifer Halverson, agent. The establishment is currently Yulky's Bar and Grill.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Is approved. Voucher approval.
Move to approve utility vouchers in the amount of $38,227.65.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Is approved.
Move to approve general fund vouchers in the amount of $953,846.76.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Is approved.
Move to approve wire transfers for debt service in the amount of $412,125.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Is approved.
Move to approve wire transfers for payroll in the amount of $439,804.49.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Is approved. Communications and miscellaneous business. Are there any updates from any of the liaisons to the committees listed below?
Little Muskego Lake is moving their meeting for the coming month to the 12th instead of the first week of the month.
Okay, anything else? Okay, future agenda items, reconsiderations.
Well, future agenda items, I'd like to see something, and I've requested this in the past, I don't know if somebody else has, brought up about the police station building. Nothing is being done about that.
Yeah, we actually had that on committee of the whole, and I think that it just got glossed over during the budget discussions, but we can get that back on.
I don't remember much on
Yeah,
that.
we'll
at
get
all.
that back on.
I remember bringing it
And
up, and I was told it's going to be brought up during budget time, and I have not seen or heard anything, and that's why I'm bringing it up
Yep,
again.
we'll put it back on.
Yeah, we need to move forward or something over there. And I do have one comment. I got the newsletter in the mail from the city, and it was pretty impressive. I think we've done a nice job on upgrading that to a new standard, so I want to point that out.
Thank you. Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion
To
adjourned.
adjourn? Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.